Okay.
Hello, everyone from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Ethan Parra talking, and I'm joined, as always, by Old Dirty H.
Hello.
All right, so today we've got a good one for you. We've got Strat plus BRV versus Lat Team 2. Um, so
Strat
this is
versus
an
AL.
important match for both teams. Strat is 2
Strat
0.
versus AL. Strat versus AL.
Oh, just kidding. Strat versus AL. Sorry.
Yep.
For some reason, I keep getting them mixed up. I'm really sorry. Strat versus AL. This is an important match for both teams because it's a playoff game. It's a qualifying match. So it's whichever team wins this match is going to definitely be into the top eight. If the other team, if one team loses, they're not out of contention. They still have another chance. But this is a very important opportunity for the players to um, get in there and win that first try and win and get into the top eight as soon as possible. Try and guarantee their spot in the top eight. Let's take a look at the players on each team. So on the AL side, we've got Lucky, Kokoro, and Kike, and on the Strat side, we've got BRV, Lankish, and V. We saw Strat play yesterday against Lat Team 2 in quite the crazy spectacle of games.
Yeah.
Um,
In the epic fashion there. That was interesting for
Yeah,
sure.
very interesting. Definitely entertaining. The bands are the same across the board: Japanese, British, and Greeks. Pretty much no surprises there. Who do you think has the edge in nations? And while you talk, or edge in terms of raw player skill, and while you do that, I'm going to turn on the fan in this room because it's kind of hot.
Sure. You know, we saw Strat yesterday. They seem to have improved. They're playing better together. Um, Even though Blove kind of hung V out to dry, they still were able to win that epic Lakes match against Quetzal and Corey. But I'll probably give the slight edge to AL. Um, And as far as the bands go, you see the Brits, Japs, Greeks, the mirrored bands. So those are been the standard bands of the tournament.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so,
yeah. I
but
think
slight edge to AL.
I would agree. I think AL does have the slight edge in terms of raw skill, but maybe we'll see some sick plays from Strat. We'll have to see. Um, Before we start the stream, before we start the games, if you like the Nordic Classic and you like the Hunter that we're putting out, and you really appreciate what we're doing here, then donate to the prize pool. It will make the tournament a little bit more exciting. Um, you can go find the prize pool link on the front page of the Nordic Classic or in the link in the YouTube description. So far, we have 8 donors. We have El Cipher, Wizard of War, Kron, PLA, Jatin, Bybrak. This is Connor and Bob. Thank you so much for your donations. Donations would be really awesome because more of a prize pool makes everything a little bit more exciting. There's a lot more weight to the games. Of course, the Nordic Classic has and always will be free for both participants and viewers, and we're really excited to bring you all this content. I see. Is this Jonathan? Hi. If it is, um, I'm
It's one
not
of
sure if
them.
it's the same. It's probably a different
Yeah,
Jonathan, but
could be.
I don't know. Hello in the chat. Nice to see you. All right, let's jump into game number 1, shall we?
Yeah, and I think these are unfortunately 2 vs 2s again.
Ah, 98. Or, the humanity.
Yeah,
All right, week 3. Um, AL versus Strat 1, right?
that's right. AL versus Strat 1.
All right. Let's get started. All right. Unfortunately, it looks like yes, you're right, Oldie. These are 2v2s. I hope these teams got permission from Connor. I'm at 1 second when you're ready.
Ready?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this is a 2v2, and it looks like we're on Mesa, which is the one with all these cliffs here. Let's take a look at the players and their nations. So on the AL side, they've got Kike with Turks and Kokoro with Romans against, on the Strat side, Lankish with Indians and V with Bantu. Who do you think has the edge in terms of nations here?
Well, it's interesting. Strat decided not to take a tier 1 nation. Or is Bantu tier
Bantu
1?
is technically a tier 1 nation. It's not,
Okay.
it's
Never
not, I think
mind.
it's weaker than the other ones, but it is a tier 1
Yeah,
nation.
I forgot that. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I would just never consider Bantu tier 1. So I think that's a bad pick to go against Turks. I mean, I like Bantu. It's nothing against Bantu, but when you have Lakota, Germans, Mongols available to you. I just think it's a better pick if you're going
Yeah.
to go tier 1. But we'll see. Maybe V has a strategy. Bantu is good at raiding, very fast with the little spearmen. You do get that extra city in the Civ. So
Yep.
maybe he's got a strategy with them, and we'll just see. But I'd definitely give the edge to Kike and Koro here with Turks Romans.
Yeah, definitely. I think Romans and Indians, they're pretty close. I think Romans are a little bit more well-rounded, whereas Indians, obviously their elephants are insane. That's their key
Yeah.
strength.
Well, especially on a non-water map because you're going to get all that bonus gold from being Roman,
Yeah.
so that just helps significantly. But the Indians do get the cheap buildings. They don't, scale. So
Yeah, they get a little
kinda
bit
give or take.
more caravan income. Their elephants are cheaper. They're
Yeah.
pretty good nation
But-
powers.
But the Roman gold could be a big factor. For
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely could. It is a lot of gold. Do not underestimate how much plus 10 gold at the beginning of the game is from your city,
Oh,
and
it's
then
huge.
like
Yeah.
so if we think about how gather rates work for a second, so this little number in the top left, it says on the bottom it says food collecting currently plus 10 every 30 seconds. So that displayed thing is plus 10 or plus 20 or whatever every 30 seconds. So if you have plus 10 gold at say 2 minutes into the game, okay, that's like a pretty normal time for the cities to go up, and up till 10 minutes, that's when you usually research classical age. So that's what, 8 minutes of time to get plus 10 gold, and so
Yeah.
that's so if you divide that into 30-second chunks, that's 16. So it's 160 extra gold from just like free extra gold. That's like
Yeah.
that's a
big money.
lot of gold, right?
Yep.
Um,
It is. It is. The only way to really balance that is to get a bunch of ruins. But typically, when you're getting ruins, you're trying to get food and wood, anyways.
yeah.
So
It's kind of like having a free diamonds that you're using, but minus the commerce cap. It's just the wealth. Which, I mean, like if you have a free diamonds, that's insane, right?
well, that's just off one city, and once you get the second city up, then you're at plus 20. And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
So on and so forth.
So
And
and
then
it
plus
scales,
You
so.
put two. Yeah, if you put 2 cities, 2 markets, it's plus 40 gold without even using any rares.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at where the players have spawned. Kike, the Turks player, is off against the Bantu player, and I think this is where the Bantu pick is going to hurt V a lot. Bantu doesn't really have any bonuses aside from the faster scouting to get to get a quick start per se, whereas Turks, they have cheap citizens. So I don't know. I would be scared if I was in V's spot, being right across from the Turkish player.
Yeah, and his wood's in front. Kike's already scouted his wood, so that's going to be, he's licking his chops there. He's going to be able to mill super fast and start putting pressure right away on V.
Yeah.
Whereas
So what do you think? Kike should just go straight mill, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Straight mill, go here. He knows about the wood. It's only a 5 wood anyways. And just start putting immediate pressure on that wood. And that's pretty much going to take V out of the game, at least slow him down significantly.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Lancaster's-
Yeah.
He's in a good spot in the back here. He can try and boom a little bit, but he's going to have to get up front there and help V, because V's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see if V is fast enough to stave off the possible Turkish aggression. We have seen in this tournament so far, a bunch of people have picked Turks and not been aggressive with them. Why?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's gonna be. Kike actually has to like do things in order to with Turks in order to make things happen. We do see here.
Well, if he can mill one, just mill one, get an archer, a heavy, even if just one of each, archer, heavy, and a slinger, that's enough to do a ton of damage.
Yeah, it is.
He could just micro them around. He could just park the archer, and just rotate the archer around and just harass this wood camp because there's really no other wood camp you can go to.
Yeah.
So that's the only one he's got. So.
Let's take a look at the runes bonuses. Oh, wow. V has 200 runes, and only one of those with a wealth rune. Nice scouting from V. That fast Bantu scouting really helping out. And it looks like Kike's pales in comparison only 75. Lankesh has 75, and Kokoda has 100. So it looks like, I think it's going to end up so if V goes straight mill, V is not going to die straight up, and it's going to be kind of even. Looks like Kike is going for straight mill. V's library is finishing up here. But I think I think V will take some economic damage, but it won't be too bad. Really
Well,
needs.
it depends on what V does there. If V gets lazy again, like we've seen before with Strat, where he's going to go Civ or Calm. If he goes mill here, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, it's big trouble.
Barracks going down for the The Turks player and V's going for Civic. Oh no, what a disaster.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
I'm
see.
not
Maybe
surprised.
maybe if V
I'm
can
not surprised.
build a city right here and pull all the citizens and get the city up before the Turkish player can get out the heavy infantry, that would be good. I really would like to see a heavy infantry immediately queued. Um,
Yeah,
it's going to be
that's
a Bowman first, and that might cost him. That might
it
cost him
could.
the city here because Bowman can't deny a city, whereas a
Yeah,
a hoplite
yeah.
can.
All they can do is pick off citizens. They're good at that. Well, what you could do here is just yeah, and you're right. He's gonna drop the city right by the wood camp. You could bring all your citizens with you to harass that city.
Yeah,
Protect
I
the
don't know if I
Bowman.
like that because the Bantu citizens are faster, so V can always just micro them away if he's scared of them
Yeah,
dying.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
the Bowman's gonna come out, start harassing. I think Kike has to know that that V has gone Civ by the way the borders are pushed. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I would
you
think
know
so.
these citizens are quite good against this Bowman because they run fast.
Yeah, I know they're
And
really
actually,
good.
I don't know. Kike might actually be able to deny this city if V isn't careful. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ninety
It's gonna be
percent.
close here.
94. Oh, it's caught by the heavy infantry, and I would like to see more units come out from Kike immediately. Just another heavy infantry. It looks like the city is going to finish, surprisingly. This
Yeah,
heavy infantry not
really.
enough to deny it, and that's going to hurt. I think Kike lost a good opportunity there. Could have built another heavy infantry or a slinger, and that would have done the job.
Yeah, and V did a wise thing by dropping the second city down at the same time. So now he's got it kind of enveloping Istanbul here.
Yeah, and now V is ahead. If you look at the score difference, like a 60 score difference.
Yeah,
Kike hasn't accomplished much of anything aside from deny the wood for a little bit with these units. Admittedly, does have commerce, so I guess that's a plus. Let's take a look
Yeah, it
on the
definitely
other
helps.
side. The Romans player is just booming up. I don't like the city position from Kokodo at all. I think you really want to push. You really want to build over here next to Kike. It's just like
yeah, I agree.
you're kind of
Yeah, it doesn't really
far in the
make
corner.
sense.
Like what if Lankesh civs like right here on the edge of V's territory? Then you're completely split off from your ally, and
Yep.
Kike is gonna get doubled easily. Looks
Yeah,
like
let's
V
look
is
at
going
the.
for mill now.
Let's go through the rares real quick.
Oh yeah, sure. So let's start with Strat's rare. So Strat, they have Silk right next to Great Zimbabwe. They have Relics behind Kapeni on the right. There's Citrus on the edge of V's territory. There's continual raids here. Barracks going up. There's
Yep.
Bison on the left over there. That's kind of contestable. On the bottom side, we have Copper. And then in Lancash's territory, there's Furs. And then in the middle, there's Obsidian there. On the top for AL, there's Salt, Tobacco. There's Silver on the edge of Kokodo's territory. And then they've got Spice behind Istanbul. So who do you think has the edge in terms of in terms of rares? I think the only
They have a.
yeah
They have Bison also.
yeah Bison on the
That's
left. It's contestable, I think, for
Yeah, it's
both teams.
contestable. Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
contestable. I like the silk and furs and relics. That's pretty nice to have. If you're gonna go a little bit later, but for the rush, if they can find salt,
Yeah, we do
which
see
they
here
know about.
Kokodo is using
Yeah.
Furs. Nice little sneaky choice. The Indians player probably doesn't have any units there quite yet, and we're having a little
No,
bit
it
of a
doesn't look like
graphics
it.
weirdness. Okay, graphics weirdness was fixed. Nice little sneaky play there, and Kike's going to give away a unit for free. Could have easily moved that back and saved it after seeing that the barracks went up. These archers still being annoying, harassing. Nice choice. And now the Bantu player is going for commerce. So we're seeing. It looks like the players are kind of leveling out in terms of ability. Now we see Kokodo using Bison. Does Kike have any merchants? I guess Kike is using Spice. Spice is not a bad rare for this situation. This is some terrible micro here. Gonna lose this Bowman for free against these fast Bantu units.
Yeah, not sure what he was thinking there. In this.
Here we see a little citizen fight. Both of them harassing this merchant from Lankesh. And does Lankesh have a barracks? No. Okay. Doesn't look like it. I think Lankesh. Oh, they also have gems next to Delhi. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's an important rare. This is a nice forward tower from Kike. Just going to be really annoying. Make sure that V can't do much with these units, although V is just kind of running past the tower.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's where he plans to set up his attack, that will work out.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go use furs, get mill 2, and then just get aggressive.
Yeah, although, like right now, would you suggest to Kike to build another woodcutter camp? Because obviously Kike has a lot of food, but unfortunately the woodcutter camp. Oh, it looks like he is. The woodcutter camp that he would be building is just not very safe, and V's doing a good job just microing these units, being really annoying with them. Kike needs to micro this citizen back if he doesn't want to lose it.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go with 2 camps here, get his food up to 102. I mean, his wood up to 102. He's already got 100 food. 36 gold, not too bad. He's using silver.
Oh, I see. Lancash's barracks is in right next to Great Zimbabwe. That's where it is. And his hoplite's going to find the first merchant, which was not moved. It should have been moved a little while earlier. And the Romans players, I think he's waiting for mill 2, but he's not going to be able to get it with the first merchant. Fortunately, just going to age up instead.
And I like the aggressive play here from Kokoro, dropping that fort right on the silver.
Yeah, that's an excellent fort position. Really, that's going to be really hard to take, and also, it allows Kokoro to put the production buildings closer to the front line. Already has his barracks pretty close.
those Roman forts just give up so much terra land. Their border push is amazing. They give a huge border push. Yeah. So they'll be able to secure Obsidian too, which will be nice.
V's really made this one light infantry do a lot of work. Probably, are they going to kill this? No, it's not going to kill that. But they might kill this merchant? No. I guess there's no micro from V. I guess he's just using it naturally. V is aging. Let's take a look. The Turks player is also aging. Didn't go for mill.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised on that play.
I think that's fine actually. I think he's realized he's not actually that far ahead of the Bantu player, so he could just play standard. There's no need to try and force a rush. You can just go senator at this point and just play standard. You just put pressure and hope your Romans ally can beat the opponents. Looks like everybody's aging up. V and Kike both finishing the age. And it looks like V actually doesn't have science, whereas the Turks player has clicked up on science.
Yep. And the Turks getting a quick 10 knowledge. This is nice from that spice. And the spice is a really underrated rare. I really like that rare.
Yeah, it's quite good actually. So it increases your caravan income, which means it's basically like a mini wealth rare, if you will. It's not as good as a straight up wealth rare, but food and knowledge are both pretty good. So pretty good resources to have, especially early on. It's hard to max out 150 food early on. So we do see Senator coming from the Roman player. I think that's totally fine. I expect to see standard play out of these players so far, and I'm actually surprised Lankesh skipped science. I don't really see why he did. Maybe he's scared of a rush because of the Turkish player, but I think he has to realize that V's actually doing pretty well for himself against the Turkish player. They seem to be both fairly even right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lankesh's strategy is here. We're seeing a nice little raiding party come down from Kokoro. Probably going to go to furs.
Yeah, 2 heavies, 2 archers. Let's see if they're using furs. Lankesh is using furs. Probably won't be able to get to use it because not enough metal income, but that's okay. Here we see a raiding party from V, a light horse and 2 archers. That's going to be really annoying. There's not quite enough food for Kike for Senator yet, and so this is going to be an annoying raid. Probably not going to kill anything, but just you're forced to micro. You're forced to put your attention away from macroing, which is important. Looks like Kike's...
Now we see the Civ 2 coming from Kokoro. He's going to really try and split Lancashire, I think, here.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a good choice. I think Kokoro probably realizes that, okay, my opponents are being a little bit passive right now. Well, at least Lankesh is, so I could probably sneak in a Civ 2.
Completely passive. Yeah. I like it too. You're just going to completely isolate Lankesh from V. I mean, V and Kike are just going at it mano a mano right now, just kind of hooking and jabbing, seeing what.
Yeah, we do see here. There are two archers from
Lankesh.
Lankesh. Nice little help there, making use of that barracks that he put down early on.
And they're upgraded too.
Yeah, nice work.
So that's nice.
It's just really annoying. I do think V lost some units unnecessarily, and Kike's finally finished infinite queuing all those villagers. This is a bit messy resource management. See, you don't need this many villagers early on. You should have gotten Senator way earlier to help with all these raids. You could just stop producing villagers because you're already maxed out on metal and wood. Really no need to get all those resources. Would also like to see at this point Kike go for allegiance because clearly he's getting raided a ton. So
yeah, and it'd be also good for Kokoro to upgrade and get those legionnaires. You know, those
the legions, yeah.
Yeah, those things
definitely. And it looks like Kokoro is just going to go on a little raiding party because Lankesh only has a stable at home, only now getting out a War Elephant, but honestly, these barracks units can just run away, especially with the forced march from the Senator.
Yep.
It's going for creating decoys. I would like to see Kokoro try to either go top to deny that wood camp or just take out this caravan, but it looks like he's going to have to run away. The decoy is probably going to hurt him more than anything. Let's see. The elephant has a movement speed of 25. The archers have a movement speed of 26, so they can technically run away.
But it's not easy.
Yeah, it looks like he's microing poorly, so he's going to lose some units.
But you can see now Lankesh is completely isolated.
Yeah, that's definitely a good move. I think Kokoro is doing a great job. Although I will say this is a lot of floating resources.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to manage that a little bit better.
On this side, there's no government from V yet. On this end, there is Senator from Kike. I like that choice. There's absolutely no need to get into Despot. Just nice and safe place set it. I would like to see a fort go down actually, or spamming out some heavy cavalry, because you have all these resources. I think a fort would do a long way of just making sure you can rotate easily, stopping raids a little bit.
Yeah, a fort is always helpful, and I mean you could see the efficiency you're getting from that Roman fort. I mean he's taking up a good third of the middle of the map is Roman territory now.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a great economy. Would like to see another caravan, but that is an excellent economy at this point in the game. V's gonna start harassing with more units. The micro is gonna be tough. It does look like Kike is going for that castle, like I suggested. I think that's a good choice. But there are a lot of units from V. There's a siege factory coming out, catapult. I think the fort's probably gonna finish in time, but let's see. It looks like Kike is going for attrition. That's a nice choice, and has a siege factory himself. It looks like Kokoro is going for Colossus, going for the long game. I think that's an excellent choice. The Indians player still doesn't have a siege factory, doesn't even have a mill 2. And in fact, the Indians player is actually quite slow. I think producing all those units at V's area, sure, they slowed down Kike a little bit, but I don't think it was worth it. I think you just wanted to focus on your own economy and stuff.
Yeah, and so this attrition is going to hurt all these archers, and they'll be easily picked off by a couple light cavalry.
Yeah, although I will say upgraded archers are much better than bowmen. There's a war elephant now from Lankesh, and these catapults are going to get sniped. Nice little bribe there. And the castle's going to go up. That's going to go a long way at securing the territory, and the attrition is going to help out a lot. These catapults need to move away immediately. There's some alright micro from both sides. I think Kike needs to put down another production building or two, because I think he needs to realize that, okay, my opponents are starting to double me here. They're starting to bank a lot of units. I don't really want to just straight up die. Does have a temple at both cities.
Kike, all he's got to do is defend and let Kokoro kill. Because,
Kokoro's gone for another fort. Wow.
Yeah, he's just in full boom mode. He's got Calm 2, Mill 2 coming now.
Yeah,
he's just completely just choking out Lankesh is what the plan is.
Yeah, I don't really like the choice to go Calm 2. I think there's absolutely no need to delay your age time. Just save up your food and just wait.
Yeah.
Do you see here Kike's infinite queuing bowman, and V's floating a lot of resources. That economy is a little lacking for a Senator economy. That looks like a despot economy to me. Got to put out some more farms. Good choice. but should have done that a little bit earlier. Let's take a look at Lankesh's economy. Lankesh, economy's still not quite there, and Kokodo's being active with these units, which I really like. I'm very impressed with Kokodo's play this game, I think.
Yeah, the only one small criticism I have is upgrade your troops. That would be it. But
Yeah,
other than
well,
that,
I think since he's
great
booming
movement.
and these troops are just being used to harass, I think he actually doesn't need to upgrade the troops.
Yeah,
I think I would like to
true.
see him put down a stable over like on the bottom side and start raiding their opponent's rares and stuff, especially raiding V a little bit. I think that would go a long way. He's doing good good damage against Lankesh, but
Looks like there's
you
gonna
want
be
to
a
help out your
militia
ally.
all in here at Istanbul. I don't know if it's.
I don't think that's gonna work out. There's a castle there.
Yeah.
There's a fort there. There
There's
is
attrition burning all these.
there is militia for Kike. I mean, even if V gets the cap sack, I don't know if that's worth it because the militia will be weak. They'll lose the fight, and then
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm not really sure what'll happen.
it looks like he might get it here.
Oh, does take it. This castle helping out a ton. The fort
Yeah.
there. Gonna back off. I think they were just trying to take that, and I don't know how many units he
Rebuild
lost
his
from that, but it was a
economy,
lot. All these militia are gonna lose health rapidly. I guess Bantu, their power is definitely helping them out there, but losing a bunch of these militia is gonna hurt.
Yeah, because if you look at Bantu's knowledge right now, it's back to 0. So I think his only knowledge was coming from the relics, and I got burned from attrition. So
Oh yeah,
now he's got no knowledge income. He's got a ton of resources, obviously, but no metal income right now because he pulled them all. It looks like he is going to drop Hanging Gardens. But now you're going to get a counter offensive here from Kike.
yeah, and Kike's gonna
Penny.
age soon. Look at
Yeah.
those resources. And Kike did go for the Civ, gets a city in the back. I think that's an excellent choice. Let's take a look at the Roman player over here. Roman player is also pretty close to aging, just needs the food.
Yeah, and it looks like Kike's clicking up now.
Yep. And
And,
Kokodo is starting to bring out starting to put pressure. Blink is trying to go for Colossus. I don't know about that, Chief. Let's see if Linkish
Yeah, you
cancels,
don't lose that
actually. I'm
battle.
curious.
Yeah, he just didn't pay attention. And now we're seeing the Legion upgrade. I like that. It's only 3 Legions, not a ton, but
I mean, he shouldn't bring out too many troops at this point. Just you want to age and then get your knights and stuff as soon as possible. Knights and crossbows. Those are the best units,
Yeah.
as well as those Roman heavy infantry. Those are also great.
yep.
And it looks like now Kike has realized, okay, I can put pressure because I'm researching medieval age. They're probably a little bit behind in tech, considering how V pulled all those militia.
Yeah, and here goes Lankish now for the pyramid. He's like, I want something. I'm not leaving here empty.
Yeah, and I think it's fine, but I think if he was gonna go for pyramids, he should have done it earlier. There's no need to invest in all these units when V was mostly just doing fine by himself.
Yeah, I don't think Lankish is going to live much longer here. Kokoro's aging now.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be, I think, GG here very soon.
Yeah, this is a big army from the Romans player. This is a bit of a waste of an upgrade. Upgrading archers while clicking up on medieval age.
Yeah.
A little bit wasteful.
Sometimes
and
you're just trying to use resources. It's like, whatever.
yeah.
So,
See here, Kokodo is still not upgrading the units. Needs to upgrade a crossbowman as soon as possible. Gonna possibly lose the supply wagon. It's kind of just sitting in the front. Finally upgrading crossbows. That's 8 crossbows right there. That's a lot of crossbows, and that's really going to do some work against this mostly classical age army from V.
yeah.
V really needs I don't know. I think he just needed to get some more economy early on because his economy is really hurting. Really hurting.
Yeah.
Putting down 5 farms at once.
I mean, I get it. He got the sack to try and rebuild his economy, but then he just he went for the gardens instead of building any economy. So.
Yeah, on this side, looks like the Romans player is just going to steamroll this city. The city's not actually going to get large because there's only 4 buildings. Temple, market, farm, woodcutter camp. But it looks like he's steamrolling on this side. Going to upgrade those units shortly. Let's take a look at Lankish's economy. Lankish is still very far away from aging. That food income's really low now, losing all those farms.
Yeah, and Delhi is pretty exposed.
As well as the second city, Jaipur. And that you don't want to give cities to a Colossus player because that just means more scholars.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
I'm expecting a Mill 3 out of the Romans player soon, just put into this game basically. Romans, you don't,
Yeah.
one of their powers is you get the free upgrades. You don't, if you have the researchers, you don't need to do anything. Looks like
Yeah.
Kike is also going to capture the city on this side. The Turkish siege is doing a good job trying to harass the tower, and also, the crossbows being really good. Would like to see Kike put down another siege factory because I think he realizes that Lankesh isn't there.
Yeah, and Kokoro's upgrading all his units now, so he's gonna have 5 crossbows.
Yeah.
About 6 of the was that the Caesar's legions?
Yeah,
And,
Caesar's legions. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a scary, scary army. Would like to see Kokoro get a little bit more metal income and basically just work on the economy a little bit. There's a couple gaps here. I mean, I'm not complaining too much because Kokoro's doing a great job. It's definitely like he's double the score of the other players right now. And in fact, if you look at the team scores average, AL is double the score of Strat here. And it looks like it's going to be GG soon.
Oh yeah.
Turkish player has gone for Mill 3.
Yeah, he's got a fort. I don't see how Lankish is going to be able to defend any of this on his side.
No.
And V's just slowly going to lose his side. So, yeah, I think we're going to see GG here pretty soon.
Yeah. I think we saw some decent plays from both teams this game, but I'm most impressed with Kokoro. Just sensing that Lankesh was playing passive and also sensing that that Kike could defend pretty easily on that side. Ultimately, Kokoro took the opportunity to be like, okay, well, if you're not going to attack me, I'm just going to boom while you're making units, and I'm gonna have the economic advantage in the long game, and I'm gonna have the tech advantage, and so I'm gonna beat you easily. And that looks like what's happening here. Gonna get these catapults sniped, which is a little bit of a mistake. Really needs a senator in the front, and also to move these units forward. Maybe a forced march would just get rid of these units, but gonna give away a catapult for free.
And we're seeing a double siege on the wonders. I guess they're just, not caring about anything else. Just want to kill these wonders for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, but you look at Kokoro's economy. It's starting to boom. He's going to be able to get Mill 3 here. Well, he could. He just got to buy some metal. Get the Mill 3.
Yeah. And you're Colossus, right, with all these floating resources. Just make another mine. Like, I understand, you want to wait for the smelter for efficiency, and I you know me, I love my smelters, but
you're a big fan of a smelter, yes.
But like at this point, you're Colossus. You have so many resources. Just pop out like 5 citizens and put down another mine.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm not complaining too much. I'm gonna lose a knight to a
looks like
fort.
V's gonna age now. I would like to see relics get used here now that they've secured it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's gonna help them get the gunpowder real fast.
Yeah, and it's basically gonna put them. It's gonna secure their lead in this game, right? Roman's player is going for science 4. I mean, whatever. They're crushing at this point. Kike's going to go for the capital. It looks like Medieval Age is going to get research, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's not enough army here from V to really make a difference, and all these units are unupgraded compared to the Medieval Age units.
No temple. He does have 1 tower, but no temple, no lookout, no attrition.
Yeah.
So, the other thing that you mentioned before with attrition gives you more range on your tower, not only just with the,
militia. You mean, yeah?
Or, I'm sorry, militia. He does have militia.
Yes.
So just no militia, or he's got militia but no attrition.
Yeah, and also if you look at the wealth incomes, V has half the wealth income of Kike, because Kike's using like 2 rares and also has a good merchant route. The moving the units in, probably going to take this capital. On the other side, Kokoro's just preparing for the offensive here. The capital is sacked, and I expect to see some GGs.
Yeah, I don't see how he's going to take this back. He does have a decent amount. He's got a ton of militia, actually. About 40 militia.
Yeah, he's just way too behind in economy at this point to do anything. Look at this economy. Over 900 metal. This is a bit of, what we've seen a couple times. Sometimes it's not even like not spending your resources. It's just like resource mismanagement. You don't need this much metal early in the game. You don't like when you research classical age, you generally don't need 10 metal miners, right? Like it's just too much metal. Like you don't need it.
Yeah, you're not going to use it all.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to have a bunch of metal, and usually you can't sell it, so it's like completely pointless. Usually like 6 or 7 is good enough to satisfy your metal needs, especially if you're going for the standard build, which we did see pretty much everybody go for. That's Senator, then Mill. Although on Kokoro's side, I guess we saw Civ first.
Well, now we're seeing Great Zimbabwe assimilate, and he's going to get Forbidden City just to make sure that's going to be off the table.
In religion, that's going to help out, although technically Great Zimbabwe doesn't have a temple yet, so I guess it's not really.
Yeah, it's not going to make that. Well, he could build a temple there quickly, so.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, I think overall, what gave the game away was I think Kokoto did a great job recognizing that Lankesh was just being passive on his side, and Kokoto was given space to boom. I think V didn't do a good enough job, especially later on, raiding the opponents and also working on his own economy. Because he was stuck on a despot economy for a lot of the time, even though he went senator. GG is called for V from V and Lankesh.
Yeah.
This is pretty textbook, right? Textbook resonations here. Nothing too fancy happened in this game.
Yep. Just you have the Turkish and Bantu kind of going back and forth. I would say Lankesh kind of could have did a little better on his side. He let Kokoro just boom way too much.
Yeah.
You let the Roman player drop an ancient fort, and then a classical age fort, just taking up all that space. That's never good. So.
Yeah.
I think. Nonetheless.
Yeah. I think Lankesh either had to commit more to killing Kike as well as V, or V and Lankesh either had to commit more, or Lankesh had to put more pressure on his side, and that means not necessarily attacking, but that could mean putting a bunch of horse archers out, just raiding your opponent, heavy cavalry just being really annoying, or elephants.
Well, yeah, you
especially.
have elephants. Elephants are actually great for raiding. They're very strong. Just keep them close to your border so you can run away from the senator if they try to bribe.
Yeah.
But you could just throw an elephant in there, raid a little bit with them, bring them back in, rotate another one. Maybe even like 2 light cavalry can go raid merchants. Just send 2 light cavalry. So, yeah. But, I think you're right. The other option could have been Lankesh, just commit to the other side. They just go for the all-in, which they kind of did, and they got the sack. But then after the sack, it was just kind of, it's like, oh, right, yay, we got the sack. And then it just all deflated.
Yeah, you all right away. Yeah. It just felt like V didn't have enough units, and neither did Lankesh there. Neither of them had super great economies by the end of the game.
Yep. So...
Looks like V's just prolonging the inevitable here. But GG, well played. I commend Kike for defending pretty well. Had a little bit of a spotty, I think V did a good job early on, taking advantage of the spot right between the 2 cities where you can't be attacked by city fire. Just taking advantage of that spot. And I would have liked to see a tower from Kike a little bit earlier there. But otherwise, I think Kike did a good job defending on his side. That fort was pretty good. The unit composition was also pretty decent, and GG.
Yep, we got Kike in the chat now.
Hey Kike, hi.
Good job.
Well played. I'm gonna really quickly, let's look at the game stats. So let's see. So we do see Kike with the most kills. I think that's because Kike kind of steamrolled V at the end.
Yeah.
And economy-wise, obviously Kokoto with the most of everything. Kokoto was the one who was booming the most, had the most space to boom up a little bit. So well played. Well played from AL side. Let's jump into game number 2, shall we?
And one last point, Kokoto tying V for ruin bonuses, 275. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Couple of late ruins there.
I think that was because at the end there he got a couple big ruins, but yeah. All right, so let's jump into game number 2 of AL versus Strat 2. Game number 2. So let's load that up. All right, looks like it's going to be another 2v2. I'm at 0. Well, I'm at 1 second when you are.
You can start.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Go. All right. This looks like watering hole to me. Yep. And let's take a look at the players and their nations. So looks like Kike got swapped out for Loki. I imagine there's a whole bunch of reasons why one could do this, but I imagine one of which is just get everybody playing. Everybody on the team wants to play, so it's just swap out, no big deal. On the other side, it's going to be Lankesh and V. So for nations-wise, Kokoto's got Koreans, Loki's got Indians, whereas Lankesh has Chinese and V has Americans. Who do you think has the edge in terms of nations on watering hole?
Man, for watering hole, I'd say it's actually pretty even. None of these. I mean, Indians is great because again the cheap wood, so that helps if you have a wood situation. Americans are always good, pretty much in every map. Um, so yeah, I'd say as far as the nations go, I'd say it's pretty even.
Yeah, I think for me, I give the slight edge to AL. I think Koreans are a nice, fast nation, and they have, they have a pretty good militia rush. Um, the Indians obviously are pretty good, especially, even if they lose water, it's not terrible for them because Indians, they have cheap farms. So building extra farms isn't too painful, and their wealth, obviously it hurts to not have as much wealth income, but it's still like workable. I think Chinese, yeah, like your only benefit early on because watering hole is a lot is decided early on. Your only benefit is your large cities, really, and I guess your
Yeah,
instant citizens and villagers, or
and
citizens and stuff,
yeah, and
merchants,
merchants and
caravans.
stuff. Yeah,
I do
yeah.
think,
So that's,
yeah,
that could be good, but there's nothing for watering hole. It's not like Spanish or
no,
something like that.
not like Spanish or like I don't know, any
Yeah,
of the really fast nations like Iroquois and
yeah,
stuff.
Japs, Germans, yeah,
Yeah,
something.
so I think I give the slight edge to AL, but it's anybody's game. It depends on how people play, and as well as their rares and stuff. Let's take a look at where the players are located. The strat players look like they're looking on the left side. We have the red Americans player V on this side with a +6 wood. Lankish on the left side, the blue Chinese player with a +10 wood. Lucky. And then here, Locky with not sure what wood he has yet, but probably going to be quite large. This looks like a +8. And then here, Kokoro has a +9, also very lucky. Okay,
Yeah,
let's talk about the rares briefly, I guess, because we have a little bit of
yeah.
time. So for
Not
AL
a lot here.
in Loki's territory, they've got diamonds and they've got diamantes and ambar,
Yeah,
as well as wine. And then there's bison on the edge of Kokodo and V's territory, and then obsidian in V's territory. That obsidian is actually pretty good, I think. Especially if you're playing defensive, which you might want to do as the Americans player. If you can get Colossus early and just play defensive with a bunch of archers, obsidian can be quite good. They've got dye and silk on
yeah.
that side, although those are
Curious.
kind of contestable because they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Um, who do you think has the better rares here? So again, it's diamonds, amber, wine against obsidian, and probably dye and silk, and then obviously there's bison. That's contestable.
Bison, yeah. Yeah, I mean it's pretty even. You don't see the huge. There's no copper, no citrus, so there's nothing going to help the water. Library rares are always great, of course. So you have that dye and silk. I think if they can keep control of dye and silk, that's going to help them age. Um, Diamonds are always great. Um, Bison's great. So I don't know. I'd say if they can control the dye and silk, that's going to give the edge there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I will say I think diamonds are quite good on this map. Like, even though it's a water map, technically, even though there are fish, sometimes you're short on wealth, and diamonds can be a huge boon. And also, like, let's see. So, and also, I think wine is also pretty good because if you're going for an aggressive push, it can be quite powerful. Amber is kind of
Yeah,
whatever, but having another rare that gives you timber is pretty good because sometimes you won't be able to max
yeah.
out your
Timber
wood
and
income.
gold, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what sort of builds we see from these players. Usually on this map, the standard build is you go calm then mill, because
yeah,
you want to take control of water early. Just build a bunch of boats because if you could usually if you take control of the water, you could usually skip civic. You can get to +100 food pretty
yeah,
easily. So
yeah. Especially with bison and wine
yeah, let's
for
take a
strat,
yeah,
they
let's
can
take a
get
look at the
food pretty
runes
easy.
bonuses. Looks like everybody has 4 runes except for Lankesh, who only has 2. Um, This map is a little weird in that it only like for the purposes of finding rares, you only need to scout the middle, and also like you also need to scout where your opponents are, obviously. But otherwise, if
Yeah,
you scout the back, you're just looking for like basically mountains, trees, and runes. Um,
yeah. And there's a decent amount of ruins on this map too, so it is good to get out there and go pick them. You get a lot of good ruins if you
yep.
scout well on the back.
The Koreans player has gotten commerce and already is putting down a dock. Really nice, fast play from there. We see the Chinese player also has commerce and is also putting down a dock over on V's territory. here, the Indians player going for Commerce 1 and the Americans player also going for Commerce 1. So fairly standard builds so far. I'm interested to see if players go for a Civ or a Mill. I wouldn't actually mind seeing a Civ from Lankesh. If you Civ like right here and just be able to control both Silk and Dye, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about the only time I would Civ on these maps is to control for rear control or to deny a mountain or take away a wood camp or something like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's typically always Mill for me personally. And sometimes I'll even skip a market, like if I don't have any rares that I'm super in love with, and use that extra wood for an extra heavy ship.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just
or more
depends on the
fishing ships,
strategy here. Yeah. But another thing you could do is just kind of protect the 1 or 2 fish that are just nearby your city or by your docks, and then just age real quick and then start pumping off fire ships and then take back the water that way.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different strategies you could do here.
Yeah. We do see here, I think V and Lankesh, they've just scouted Obsidian. They haven't scouted Amber from the opponents, whereas Kokodo and Locky haven't scouted Bison. But everybody else, otherwise everybody knows about all the rares. Do see a market going down for the Indian player. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I guess you want to get to 100 wood income. Would like to see a mill from the Indian player. The Koreans player is going for mill. Good choice. Also, we see a market going down. I think this market is not necessary for Kokodo set. I don't think you need the market because you can get a plus 100 timber income with just your woodcutter cap plus 9. I think the market's a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree.
On the side, the Americans player has gone for mill, and the Chinese player is not quite there yet on resources. Chinese player also going for mill. It's fine, yeah.
And Locky's getting mill.
Kokodo has a ship coming out. I would like to see Locky start building another ship, which he does. And so we're going to see some boat conflict right here. We're going to see some water battles on this map, which are fairly common. The Chinese player actually putting out a couple more ships. I think the Chinese player was just a little slower than everybody else. So.
Yeah, it seems so. It'd be nice just to see, Kuro's gonna get out early in raid. Here comes Locky with his heavy ship.
And the raids are starting. The Chinese player is actually, or the Koreans player is going for Civic. I think that's a good choice as Koreans. Looks like they have seen Bison now. And they're gonna just put their city there. Let's see, are there boats coming out? There is a boat coming out from the Chinese player, but the Americans player doesn't have a boat coming out. I'm not really sure why. The Americans player has a barracks. That's why.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very hard to deny Korean builds though. So I think the city's gonna go up pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean we'll have to see if I guess currently the an archer is being produced, so if V's fast, maybe he can snipe the citizen.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to try to do, try to attack the citizen. Yeah. It's at 65%. The citizen's starting to take damage, but they're going to clear out the water with only 2 ships. Looks like the citizen is going to die, and the city is going to be denied for at least a little bit. I think that's not the biggest deal right now.
No, it's not a big deal.
No.
You can easily put it up.
I mean, it's 60 food and 60 wood down the drain, but if Kokodo just focuses on making some more ships, I think that's totally fine. I actually think Kokodo doesn't need this tower. Just make sure you win the water, I think. Or this barracks, I mean.
Yeah, there's a forward barracks is unnecessary. You just defend and take the water, and boom. I mean, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, the Chinese player is faltering a little bit, not making enough boats. Gonna lose a light ship there.
Yeah, and he's gone Civ, but I don't see his city coming up anywhere. So that's a waste. I mean, if you're gonna Civ, you might as well use it.
Oh, I see it. It's coming along. It's just a little slow. There's actually not sure where the citizen is that's going to build this, but it is right on the edge of his territory. I think that's a decent spot. You know, kind of protects Silk. Pushes the
It would have probably
border.
been nicer to get more in the middle and try and get Silk and Dye, but. He knows about both rares.
Yeah, we do see Locky putting down a farm. I think this is a hedge in the right direction. I think actually, Locky already has a lot of wealth income from both amber, diamonds, and the caravan that's going to finish up soon, and all these fish. I think putting down a farm is fine. Just make sure that if you do happen to lose water, you won't lose all of your food income with it.
Yeah, especially being an Indian player because the farms are just so cheap. Right now, his fishermen are probably, ramped up a bit. They're going to be more expensive. Yeah, he's at 60 now per fish, where he could just do 40 for a farm, save that 20 wood right now. It's very valuable.
Yeah, and it looks like Kokodo, not really sure. Kokodo and Lucky are kind of being passive with their boats, which means they're going to let their opponents continue fishing for at least a little bit more. Lankish is still using a single fish. When you have the water advantage, you actually want to press your boats forward. Just make sure that they're not using any fish. And also, I guess if you have damaged ships, you can go back and heal them.
Yep, exactly. So I guess they're just shifting their attention to the land now. Kokoro's going to build back, it looks like, now his city. And try and regroup from there.
I don't mind that. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, he can harass Bison anyways. He's got Archer Salmon right there. He can end up towering that.
Yeah.
So
I guess if you want to get aggressive, you want to push forward, but I think it's a little hard to put up your city at this point, unless you pull like 5 citizens, which is not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, he could try and sneak underneath here, right on the coastline, maybe get a city there. But
yeah,
this putting the city here will open him up to potentially more wood and mines for the future. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, we see Kokodo going for Bison. I think this is not necessary. Just move your merchant over to Amber. Bison's really not that great at this point. Not a great rare to be using. And again,
he's maxed out on food anyway, so it doesn't really need it.
And again, we still see these ships being passive and their opponents being allowed to fish a little bit. Lankish and V both just being able to use fish for free, basically.
No, Lankish and Lucky are aging. V's going to age here. Koro's a little late. Oh, he went science first, which I don't like that. You're Korean, you don't need the science.
Yeah,
Take
you don't.
Wood,
You don't.
Just age. You can build temples without science anyways. So, I don't know why I did that. He's got a ton of gold floating.
Yeah, we do see here the upgrade, the trireme upgrade from Locky. This is usually a good choice early on, especially if you're making sure you want to win the water. Triremes are I think they take 2 fire ships to kill, which means they're much better than their ancient age counterparts, and they're also like way tougher. They have more armor, more range, more damage. They're just better.
The
in
galley,
every way.
you mean? The galley's
Galley, yes. Trireme is the ancient one, yes.
Yeah.
But Locky's still being passive with these boats. Just move them up and deny that last fish. You know, your opponents are using those for free. You have units, you might as well use them. And this is a bit of an awkward caravan route, unfortunately, for a Locky. It's very exposed. Like, this whole route here, it's really scary, too.
Yeah, not sure why I didn't go under the mountain.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes caravans are weird like that.
Yeah, it's a weird AI.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes it's worked for me if you raise the market. I mean, it's a big pain in the ass, but if you raise the market and move it, sometimes it'll change the route.
Oh, I'm not sure.
But, yeah.
The Korean player has gone for Commerce 2 in Ancient. Is that a good play? I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't mind it. The American player getting Colossus up. If the Korean player wants to get aggressive, maybe it's worth it. But I think you don't want to let the American player just boom. If this is just a booming Commerce 2,
Well, I think they're figuring they got control of the water. He's going to need to spend that gold, so,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, Indians player getting out Senator Republic as well as a stable for elephants. Immediately queuing up a elephant for raids. Nice choice there from Locky. On this side, let's take a look. Chinese player is probably going to go for Senator as well, and there's a bit of a skirmish here between these units of V and Kokodo. These heavy infantry are going to get sniped, and looks like V's going to luck out. The 2 units microed back the heavy infantry and the slinger. So basically, at the end of the exchange, Kokodo lost a heavy infantry.
And now here comes a Civ 2 from V. I mean from Kokodo. I'm not sure about this play.
I think it's just he's just trying to save food on villagers, and also maybe Civ closer to the opponent. I think it's fine if he's still aggressive, But we do see it's like you have to be aggressive when you're going for this Com 2 build, because otherwise the Americans player might outboom you actually because with Colossus, which is great rare. I'm not sure. Here we see Zik in the chat. Hey Zik, how's it going? Yeah, who loves fish maps? I hate these sea fights. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it in that you have to micro two areas at once. I think that makes things a little bit more
Yeah.
interesting. And also thinking about like the grand scheme strategy here. Do you see here Lankish terrible micro with his light horse just gonna get killed by a tower for no reason? Oops. And we do see the raiding party from Locky. Locky's also brought the Senator with him, which I think is a good choice. So hopefully you can force march away. Um, and Lankish is gonna make some attempt at holding the water, but I don't think it's gonna work out. There's a fire raft that doesn't kill the galley. But these galleys are just way better than triremes, so...
Oh yeah, it's just significantly more powerful. You look at the HP alone. What is it?
Yeah.
210 versus 180, something like
Yeah,
that.
210, 180. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's you know, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and the Chinese player is floating a lot of resources. I'm not really sure why. Just spend them. Put down a wonder. Put down a university. Put down your production buildings. Get the economy higher.
Go mill too. You know, do something.
Yeah, we do see here Kokoto. Actually, this is a very late city. And I think Kokoto went Civ because he does have a mountain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's
But
take a look.
He's got one mountain in the back here.
Yeah, this is a +6. Going for this forward one, probably going to try to grab this +5 over here.
He hasn't really scouted the one just behind Wonton, but he could go use that one.
Yeah, this is a bit of the mistake of spotty scouting. If you're especially short on metal, you really want to be scouting and looking for mountains so that you know where to sieve, because he's kind of just guessing and hoping.
Exactly. Especially on a map like this where you know metal is hard to come by. You really need to scout that early. And he's got a bunch of ruins back there too. There's still 3-4 ruins in the back you could go get. That's why it's just good to always just keep a scout going around on this map.
And I'm not sure what happened, but I think Locky lost his elephant, which is not a good play.
Yeah, I saw he raised it. It almost got bribed. So
yeah, I mean, it's better than bribed, but still, like, you know.
Yeah, it's a loss of resources. Sucks.
And it looks like still AL's not denying their opponent's fishing. They have so many boats, but they're just not using them. Really not good. You really want to deny your opponent's fish.
Yeah, you could easily deny those too.
Yeah.
That's the right play from Strat. Is you just keep using the fish that are closest to your docks, because worst case you can just retreat them in. You can shoot out fire ships to defend them.
Yeah.
And so that's good that they're able to use. And using 2 fish out of 6 is pretty good. You know, using a third of the fish, not a bad ratio.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at the knowledge incomes, because it looks like this game both teams are just kind of content to boom a little bit. So for Locky has +90, for the Chinese player has +82, for the Americans player +65, and for the Koreans player also +65.
Yep.
No government from the Koreans player quite yet. No need to rush for a what do you call it?
He went on Con 2, so it's...
Yeah, no need to rush for Senator or whatever.
Yeah, or Despot. You don't need Despot at all.
Yeah, there's a mine here now for Kokoto on the bottom side. Kokoto's putting down pyramids, just going for a longer boom game. I don't know if that's a good idea against an Americans player who's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, and V's going to drop a fort right here. Nice forward fort. Looks nice. Going to keep any pressure off on that side.
I actually don't know if I like this forward fort. It's a bit exposed.
Well, I would like it if he gets aggressive. I mean, that's the only reason I would say that, because that's going to help, just give him an area to build all of his, siege factories, stables, barracks, and just get aggressive on Bueo. Bueo's pretty exposed. There's nothing there. It is Koreans, so they're difficult to take on, because of the repair bonus. But Americans with Colossus, you should be able to just mass that Colossus army and just start.
Yeah, and I would like to see. We did see a bit from Locky, but I would like to see some raids, especially from the Koreans player. Just put down a stable, some horse archers. That would do a lot to. It'd be really annoying to the Colossus player. When you're playing against Colossus, you have to be at least a little bit aggressive. You have to continuously be annoying, basically, and force them to build units or force them to trade with you as much as possible, because you don't want them to mass a giant army. You want to like trade off. You want to fight with small armies, because eventually, if you don't fight, if you like never fight with your opponent, you're going to be pop capped, and they're going to be able to continue producing units, and then their army's going to be too big, and they're going to overwhelm you.
Yep.
We do see here a bit of some units from Locky ready for the assault. Locky has plus 115 knowledge income. I actually would like to see Locky put down Hanging Gardens, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be a good play.
Because it looks like this game's going long, and so...
yeah, and that's great for the Indian player to get that extra knowledge boost. And he's going to be able to age here, though, very soon. You can click on it now. Yep, he's going to click on it now. And...
very soon, yeah. Only 20 more knowledge. I'm at 1825, by the way.
oh, okay. A little bit ahead.
Yeah. So I think this is actually the most passive... this is the most passive Lakes game match we've seen in a while.
Yeah, especially in a 2v2, it's such a small map. You know, you'd expect much more action, but it's been just a little bit of water action. It looks like now they're going to start cleaning up those fishermen.
Yeah, finally. This should have happened a little while ago, but...
yeah.
And we do see here, Locky is pop capped. I think Hanging Gardens would be an excellent choice here. You have the resources. It's not like you can produce much else.
Yeah.
On this side, the Koreans player still doesn't have enough food to age, and scouts the castle. Although this is a bit of a weird thing. It looks like Locky is taking my suggestion, going for Hanging Gardens. This is a bit of a weird thing that happens sometimes. When you go and this castle starts shooting at you, you're like, okay, run away. But then when you leave, the castle loses vision. It's because you didn't actually see the castle with your units. It's just the castle started firing at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's frustrating for when you're trying to take the castle down. You got to just run a light horse in there or something close.
Yeah, your general or something. Yeah. It's annoying. Have you ever played the Alexander campaign? That first one, just running into all those castles, that's really annoying.
Yeah, I played it years ago, but I know that feeling where you're just going in blind and the castle just shows up.
Yeah. Americans player is aging. The Koreans player still a ways away. Just doesn't have enough food, and I think not having that metal income early on has hurt him quite a bit. But now with the pyramids, can put down a fourth city, maybe in the back over here, and now has clicked up on the age button. See how far Lankish is. Lankish is very close, about to click up. Could actually go for civic or commerce first, but I think either is fine. Just click up. You have to start researching stuff now.
Yeah, just click up for sure.
Brief pause from Locky, no problem. Let's take a look at the knowledge incomes again. So we do see Locky with plus 130. When the Hanging Gardens eventually finishes, it'll be plus 180. Chinese player is plus 102. American player is plus 95. And the Koreans player also has plus 95. And it looks like the Koreans and Indians player are both pop capped. And that's where the Colossus is going to have the advantage. This is a pretty big army from V, actually. Unfortunately, the wealth income is really low. Only plus 86 compared to the plus 139 and plus 130 of their opponents. And then also actually plus 61 of Lankish. I think that wealth is going to be the difference here, because in a long game, not having enough wealth is really, really going to hurt you.
Yeah, and it looks like we got some pressure from Locky on the bottom at Luyang. See if he can do some damage down here.
Yeah, and Locky still hasn't scouted the fort over there. But these units are going to trade really well. It doesn't matter if there's a fort there. You can just march in with your elephants, start harassing the citizens here.
Well, the fort's not in the best location either. I don't know.
No, you can kind of just go around it. Go attack Hong Kong, honestly, over there. On this side, we'd see the Americans player V starting to be annoying. Has a much larger army than Kokoto, which is going to be a problem. Kokoto needs attrition right now.
Yeah.
Can research it. Hasn't researched it. That's what you do to kind of keep your opponent off your back, like times like these.
Looks like he's researching it now.
I assume we'll see it on the screen momentarily. Yep. Okay. Indians player is going for Science 3. I think that's fine. It's not ideal. And we do see some raiding units continually from Locky. But the Indian player is on a bit of a clock, you know, has to make sure not to lose against the Americans play the long run. This is a great raid from Lankesh, Horse Archer, and a heavy cavalry on the wood line. There's nothing to defend. There's no militia, no attrition. Really nice raid. This is going to hurt Lockheed quite a bit here. Going to kill a bunch of citizens. And that economy is kind of suffering as a result.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And
yeah,
the Koreans player wasn't repairing the city, and so loses the city immediately. Not a good play at all. You easily hold this if you just repair the city, but...
Yeah, I think he was just late to repair. He came in too late to try and repair.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no excuse for that. You have citizens in these farms in the woodcutter camp right there. There's no excuse for not being able to repair there.
And he's got a ton of militia. As we know, the Koreans get the free militia upgrade.
Captures the city, really needs to start repairing it immediately.
Yeah.
Not repairing it.
Not sure why.
The attrition's wearing down the American army here. I like this army composition. A lot of crossbowmen, a couple cavalry, but mostly infantry units, because you get
a couple
bonus
elephants
resources.
rotating back to help, so that's nice.
Yeah, we see a stable here from Lockheed. This raid is still continuing. It's really been painful. Lockheed still doesn't have attrition or anything. Just these units. This raid from Lankesh is devastating, and the points have swapped. AL was leading for a lot of this game, but now it's going to be Strat that's leading.
Yeah, good little comeback here from Strat, even though they still have no water. But Lockheed's going to keep putting pressure here in the middle. I don't know why he's not just going to pick off Hong Kong. I think it's because he just hasn't scouted it. Oh, no, he has.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not.
Yeah,
there's a bribe on an elephant. That's going to be really painful.
Yeah. Good work by Lankesh here.
And in fact, look at Lockheed's economy. This is a terrible economy here. What happened? Ouch.
Yeah, he just I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like Kokodo can't hold up against a continuous production. Kokodo's also faltering on this side, and this looks like it's going to be GG actually. That's a little mind-boggling. Like they were pretty. I think they were ahead, but they just kind of just threw it away in a couple of minutes.
I mean, they've had the water the entire game.
Yeah, in a long game, their opponents didn't rush. They just didn't boom correctly, I guess.
But if you look at that American economy, it's just on fire right now.
Yeah, Americans going for Mill 3. I think that's an excellent choice. Just cementing, making sure you don't lose this fight, which is how you lose this game at this point. If you can get tactics, that'd be awesome. And Lankesh is going to out-boom Lockheed here momentarily because Lockheed's economy is awful.
Yeah, this is trouble. Big trouble. And this is a classic Rise of Nations here, man. Just a couple blunders. Next thing you know, all your momentum's gone. And I mean, you look at Lockheed's army's completely gone. His offensive completely stopped there at Liaoyang. Yeah, this is just big trouble.
Yeah, and this is something I think some players are... I find, you know, I personally haven't had as much problem with this because I think I'm used to it, but it's about remaxing your economy, right? So when you're getting raided and you lose a bad fight and you're behind like this, the first step is not to build more army, okay? Unless you're about to literally die, the strategy, you can't build more army. You have to start maxing out the economy, which is what we see Kokodo doing here, putting out a wood camp, building some more villagers. You have to get the economy back to booming so you can have a chance at staying in the game, in the long term at least. And the same thing applies to Lockheed. You know, they're doing an all right job, but they're not building their economies fast enough. This city's small. There's not enough farms and really any sort of income from Lockheed here. I just don't know what happened. This is a hard game to watch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I think Strat should have this now. You see Americans getting calm too.
Yep, and this is a pretty large army already, and currently Kokodo doesn't have enough production doesn't have enough resources, doesn't have enough production to make produce enough units to combat this American's army. So it's just gonna keep getting larger.
Yeah, it's just gonna get larger and more powerful, especially if you can age here again.
Yeah, you see the senator trying to go for the bribe again, trying to bribe his original elephant.
That's funny. Trying to bring him back to his side.
Yep.
Yeah, but man, there's just big blown opportunity here from AL. They have the water all game.
Yeah, they had a Koreans player on the defensive, and there was no repair. The boom
Yep.
order was off.
Yep.
They're
Bad boom
recovering their
order.
economy slowly, but it's not going to be fast enough.
Not American Colossus is just so hard to deal with.
Yeah, if you're on the back foot against the Americans Colossus, that's really painful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, I think this is just. I think a lot of this game is, partially we did see those blunders from Kokodo on this side, but it's also just like Kokodo just didn't raid the American player enough. When you're playing against Colossus, you can't just let them sit and boom. You just can't. Like, you're not going to win in a long game against them for the most part, anyways.
No. And its soul is assimilated now. Wonsan's completely undefended.
Yep.
One tower there. Still no supply wagon from V yet. We need to get that out there. But I think this is GG. I don't know.
Yeah, this is GG.
How Kokoro's going to bounce back from this. It looks like he is moving his cap, though. Senate's raised.
Yeah.
So.
In the chat, we see Locky says, "No me di cuenta de ese raid por ayudar a Kokoro y atacar a Lancash." Yeah, so he's saying he didn't realize there was a raid happening because he was attacking Lancash and helping Kokoro, which I think is fair. It's really hard to micro two things at once. It's really hard to realize that your economy is getting gutted, and so good play from Lancash being able to micro both sides and really take advantage there. Mauricio in the chat says, "Hey Mauricio, how's it going? ¿Cómo estás? My Spanish is okay. I'm struggling, but we try. Still no supply wagon from V, but he's booming. He's getting signs 2 now. Has mill 3. Has armor. Koreans player economy still suffering. There's no wealth income whatsoever.
Yeah.
Looks like Locky's gonna win this side, but Lancaster has tons and tons of resources floating, actually. Has Science 3, could research Allegiance, and that's probably going to be the nail in the coffin to get a Gunpowder Age. Locky could go for Gunpowder Age, but doesn't have the economy to really make it work.
Yeah, it's tough.
Kokodo's trying to take the city back, but the army's just way, way too small.
Yeah, you're doing the American Colossus. That's not happening. Yeah, I just don't see a way out of this one, guys. Unfortunately, the opportunities, you had them early, and they just kind of got away from you.
Yeah. PK, thank you for the compliment. My Spanish is not ideal, but it's passable. I can understand, kind of. We do see here now Lankish is going to upgrade the boats. I think that's a good choice. At this point, your opponent still has a bit of economy from the water, so you might as well just take the finishing blow. V's going to take out the city of Wonsan. Again, we saw no repair from Kokodo. Just really not making use of the Korean power.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. And he's got plenty of resources to repair and build some army, but just kind of leaving it alone now. I think we can just fast forward.
Yeah, sorry. GG, pretty well played from Lankesh and V there. V was just basically able to sit and boom for a while, which we did see him do in that game against against Lat Team 2 in game number 1. As the Americans player, he was also just booming along and able to pretty easily secure the advantage. We do see here Kokodo is going to actually take the capital. Nice little sneak attack there.
Yep.
But they're just way too far behind. The Americans player is about to age despite losing the capital. Lankesh is aging.
Yeah. STRAT's V's getting forbidden also, so it doesn't matter.
Actually, I'm not sure. Wait, I'm gonna hit play. I'm not sure what's happening here. Somehow Kokoto was able to hold the city. And where's V's army?
He went to go around the other side.
Oh, it's take Delhi. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Okay.
And then V's getting Forbidden City, so.
Yeah, Forbidden City is going to go up in time. Doesn't need the Colossus at this point. Is way too ahead. And GG is called from Lucky. Well played.
Well played. So we're going to have a game 3.
Yeah. And I'm glad because this is an important match for both teams. We see, some players doing better or worse than last game, and so I'm really interested to see what will happen in game number 3. We'll see if AL can pull it together and get the Rise of Nations good playing abilities rolling here, or if Strat can maintain their momentum. So let's take a look at the. Yeah.
I think AL can bounce back. AL had this game. They just kind of a couple of bad battles they took, and they just it's war. You lose some bad battles, sometimes you end up losing it all. So
yeah,
that's all it was really.
Definitely. Pretty interesting. So we see V with the most kills, and also let's take a look at the incomes. V with the most of every resource gathered except for food, which Kokoto has over him. Kokoto had pyramids and had the early commerce cap, so that's probably why.
Yep.
Anyways, GG, well played. Let's move. I'm going to update the scoreboard really quickly. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. This is game number 2. Apologies, folks. Yep. I forgot to update the scoreboard after game number 1. So it is now 1-1.
1-1. Tiebreaker coming.
All right, let's load up game number 3.
Looks like we're going to get a 3 versus 3 here finally.
Oh, bless. Praise. Yep. Oldie and I, we have the opinion of 3 versus 3 is way, way better than 2v2, which
it's not even close. Yeah.
This is going to be a fun one. We're on Great Lakes.
Oh, man.
All right,
wow.
I'm at 1 second, and we're ready when you are.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. And I'm going to be chanting it. Calm to despot. Despot. There's 2 French players. Yeah. I'm already salivating. Let's get started with the intro. So on the AL side, we've got Kokoto with Germans, Locky with Aztecs, and Kike with French against BRV with French, Lankesh with Germans, and V with Chinese. I think these are actually insane. This is very, very balanced. Two same nations, and then Chinese and Aztecs. I think both are excellent on this map.
Yeah, it's really just going to come down to player skill and rares, of course.
Yeah, we saw V was an excellent boomer, and we've seen V as so far an excellent boomer. And so Chinese is probably a great fit. And then Locky on the other side, Aztecs, we did see some early raids from Locky, so maybe he can make Aztecs work with that, or just go for a longer game. Aztecs are also excellent in the later game. I'm interested to see what sort of builds will come from the German players from both sides. Maybe they can both go for a wonder or something like that. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's typically the kind of the trend you'll see with the German, Jap, Mongol, Americans, and these kind of maps.
Yeah.
You always see wonders early, for sure.
Do you think AL will go for an aggressive push, given that they have French and Aztecs?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, and it depends where they spawn, too, of course.
Yeah.
But I would love to see that. Get a French despot going with some Aztecs there, double one side real fast.
Yeah. Maybe
find a side that's booming and just go rush it. That could be the play.
Or even honestly, it'd be acceptable for me if Kike was going for the raid plus boom strategy, slowing down his boom a little bit to try and raid all the opponents, or Locky, slowing down their boom a little bit to try and raid all their opponents, slow them down so their teammates can get ahead. Let's take a look at where the players are spawned. We do see here, this is going to be a confrontation. The Aztecs player against the French player on the bottom side. Locky, purple versus BRV French. This looks like it's going to be an exciting game, folks. We have V and Lankesh on the top side, the Chinese player on the top, and Lankesh, the German player, in the pocket. And then on this side, we have Kike on the wing, the blue French player, and the yellow German player in the pocket. Who do you think? Who do you think has the advantage given this situation?
I like this Aztecs right on the border here. The French, maybe you just go for the kill. You could even triple there and just try and take him out real quick.
Yeah, I
That could be fun.
I think this game is going to be probably more exciting than some of the other Lakes games we've seen, except for maybe the one yesterday. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Also lakes,
Yeah,
but only 2 roofs too.
yeah,
Because if you look at the top here, I mean, TK is not that far from V, but V's Chinese. They're not going to be very fast.
yeah,
We see V is definitely a tendency on booming, so he's probably going to focus on maybe a side tube or maybe a side com, get the wonder real fast. I don't know, but I think you can expect V to just boom.
yeah.
And in the meantime, you could have, Kike just rotate down, send a couple villagers down to Technotillion, and they could just go for a 3-man triple here on
Yeah.
Orleans and just pretty much take out 97 right away.
Yeah.
That could
We
be-
see here
could
in
be
the
the
chat, Blove, who is the French player, says double here. So I think we're gonna see a lot of battles in this area on the
Yeah.
bottom side. So if you were V, right, in this situation, you're off against the French player who's pretty close to you. What would you say? What build are you supposed to go for? Because usually on Lakes maps where you're kind of far apart, generally what you do is you as a Chinese player, generally you go for Science 3 and Ancient. Usually that's the standard build, or you go for an early wonder. But that's less common than just going for a what do you call it? A lot of sciences. But given that you're across from the French player who might despot rush you, oh, here we see a pause. What do you think V's build should be?
I mean, I would probably. Well, it's just scout him. Just scout him real quick, see what he's doing. But if you think he's gonna get early mill, you might have to get mill up quick and just defend. You have to. But this comes with a lot of scouting, and it looks like V's got a scout over there. So let's see if he can just keep spot. I would keep one scout on Paris and just constantly looking to see what he's building. What is he looking to build?
Yeah,
What's he looking to
definitely.
build? And just be ready to pull the trigger on mill if you need to.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, like I said, the trend that we've seen from V, I'm gonna guess he's probably gonna go science, com, and then wonder. That's gonna be my guess.
Science Com Wonder. Okay.
I don't think that's the right move, but I think that's what he might do.
Okay. We see Blove is doing a good job calling for. They're communicating, talking in the chat. I would like to see some. Well, I was gonna say I would like to see some voice chat, but you can't really see
you
voice
can't
chat.
see Yeah.
But
We'd
anyways,
like to see no chat because then you would know that they're voice chatting. So
Yeah.
that would be the case there.
on this side we see the Aztecs player is going for that library, and this could be commerce, but it also could be mill. That looks like it could be mill money. I'm not actually sure if he could reach the water here, this lake here, and I'm not sure if he would use it. If really, there's no for Locky, there's no citizen that's available. There's no citizen that's available to put down a dock in anywhere near any of the other areas. Looks like Locky is going for Commerce 1. French player is a little bit slower. German player going for Commerce, then Civic. I think Love was talking about it in the chat. I don't really know where the Civ would be. Probably just in the front here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. He's gonna sieve, protect the wood. Lancash is gonna come up, protect that wood. That's a smart move.
Yeah. Looks like everybody else is just going for fairly standard builds. While we wait for this game to get exciting, shall we talk about the rares quickly?
Sure.
So for the AL side, they've got Sugar right in the pocket for the Germans player. The city is going to go up for Lancash, and there's all these citizens are pulled to attack this citizen. There's Sugar in the pocket here for Kokoro. There's Peacocks, which is a great rare for longer games, as well as Gems. This is a solid rare. They've got Salt, Copper, and then there's no rare here. Let's see. There's Spice in the middle there, and on the top side there's Bison next to Paris. Then the middle there's Furs. That's contestable by all the players pretty much. And moving on to Strat, they've got Marble, Wine, Obsidian, Wool. On this side, let's see. They've got Diamonds in the back as well as Tobacco. There's Relics, Silver.
Yeah, it's a great rares there.
So fair to say that Strat have the better rares for a longer game at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's not even close. So we'll see if we get that aggression out of AL. This Munich's in a bad spot. I mean, it's going to be easily taken if they get an aggressive rush going. I do see barracks coming up.
I actually think Munich's on a terrible spot. This is a pretty, you can't really bring in that many cavalry here because it's so like enclosed between the two trees.
Yeah,
it is going to be.
Just depends. Yeah, with the early rush it's tough because it's pinned in. So I mean, you could. It depends where he builds. If he leaves that city pretty much empty and he can defend it, okay. But if he starts putting down a bunch of buildings, it's going to be tough to kind of maneuver around. You're pinned between those two forests there.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll just see how they defend it.
Yeah,
it could be great. It could be great. It could be a great defense.
Yeah, we do see here the German player going for mill first. Let's see. Blov doesn't have mill. Neither does Lankesh. Neither of them have mill. Kokodo does have mill, and now has gotten civic. City in the back for Locky. I think that's fine. Because you could have the German player put the city at the front. There's no need to put the Aztec player economy at risk when you can just put the German city at the front and then not really worry about it too much.
Yeah, and they're kind of just using the terrain to their advantage. A lot of mountains right here, a lot of forests, so that's going to defend these Aztec cities' natural barriers.
You see here the Chinese player has gone for Civic 1. I think you don't need to do that, especially early on. Just I don't think there's any need here. And that early mill from Kokodo going to start pumping out some units. Has a single archer. Would like to see Kokodo build a couple more units because otherwise, what are you going mill this early for? But it's fine, whatever.
I see Roger in the chat. He wants us to start speaking in an Indian accent. So that's I'll leave that up to you, Pear. You can start speaking with your best Indian accent.
I'm Sodi. No, my Indian accent's a little bit off. I tried my best.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Anyways, so we do see here a temple from Lankesh, still no mill, and still no mill from the French player, Blov, either. Feels like Kokodo's kind of throwing away a good opportunity here, unfortunately. If he had even a single heavy infantry, I think that would just be really good at harassing, just being really annoying for Blov and Lankesh. One of them would be forced to get mill, whereas instead now, like Lankesh can just go for a commerce 2 easily or something like that.
Yep.
Looks like they haven't scouted, Strat haven't scouted silver, and that's going to be a big blunder, or a big pain for them anyways, not having access to silver. Let's take a look here. The French players, Kike is going to go for Wonder, looks like Commerce, Civic. I mean, it's sad for me because I wish he would have, I wish Kike would have gone Com 2 Despot, but, whatever.
Yeah.
This looks like Colossus money, or actually, I can't tell. Put it on the temp. What's happening? I don't know what's happening. These citizens are all getting shuffled around.
He's going Gardens.
Gardens?
Yep. Lankesh is going Colossus.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Lankesh has Colossus money, and then Lankesh is going Colossus, and here Kike is going to go Gardens, as he said. It's 9. I'm at 912. Oh, Lankesh is going Colossus. Sorry.
Yeah, so I meant Lankesh going Colossus, Kike is going Gardens, and it looks like Blove just found silver, so now they're going to start using that, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's take a look here at what techs the other players are going for. We do see some units from Kokodo not being a little slow on the movement, and I would like to see Kokodo start put out a light ship or 2 just to raid the water, force his opponents to get some boats in the water here. On this side,
we're trying to see a double raid here, Germans and Aztecs.
Yeah, and the French player only now has mill. German's player only now getting mill. French player doesn't have a barracks up yet, and this is going to be a good raid. Probably going to be quite effective at slowing their opponents down here. Nice little raid from both players.
Yeah, and surprisingly late tower coming up here.
Yeah, this is a really late tower. Should have gotten the tower a while ago if you're going to skip putting down a barracks for so long.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're really aggressive here, they could, like I was saying earlier, they could just take out Blove pretty easy because Orleans is completely undefended.
Yeah, we do see here a raiding ship from Kokodo, excellent. Getting a light ship, just harassing the boats.
Yep.
Would like to see a couple more, and also I think Kokodo needs to spend the resources more. Going for Civ 2, I don't really like that choice. They could just get aggressive at this point. Just go for a Senator, just a regular push, and their opponents are behind. Let's take a look at what V's up to. V has gone for Science 2. Still doesn't have military. Probably will get it soon. Yep, researching military now. Also went for Com 2. I think that's fine. As soon as V realizes that French player is going for Hanging Gardens, I think V can pretty easily just go for the spam sciences build. The V is going for a bunch of farms, which is not ideal. You want to go for fishing ships when you can.
Yeah, I agree.
On this side, the raids continue.
Looks like Strat definitely has the better lake. I'm not sure why Blue Up's not using that lake up top.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'm not sure. The raids continue from Kokodo. That light ship doing a lot of work.
Yeah, great raids from Kokodo there. That's the right move there. I love seeing that on any water map. Just constant raiding.
Let's take a look at the units killed here. Kokodo kills 4 units, and Bluff's lost a total of 6 units. That's so painful. Lockie's killed 3 as well. So it looks like AL has the edge early on in terms of units killed, which is that makes a difference later on. All these early unit losses kind of snowball, right? So
yes, they do. They add up.
Now they're going to raid Silver in the back here for the Germans player. Nice work.
And he'll be able to come right down to relics next.
Kokodo's floating a lot of resources. Maybe he's going to go for pyramids. I don't really know why. Not building scholars, not building much of anything. Probably microing. Oh, I guess. Oh, we do see us here a Senate at the front. I think that's an acceptable choice, I guess. I don't know. It's not ideal.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, he's clearly going to be the aggressor here. He's already put the Strat team on their heels, so I think he's just going to count on just keep pushing. I mean, you could raise that Senate too while you're attacking. So
yeah, that's true.
It'll get raised eventually, and he could just move it back.
Yeah, I would like to see Senator from all of these players. Looks like Republic is coming out from Lucky. I think that's a good choice. And it looks like Blove is really far behind. Look at that score difference. Blove has lost a ton of units. Doesn't even have Science 1, fortunately for him.
Yeah, no metal production. Yeah, big trouble there for the Strat French player.
Yeah, and it feels like Blove just hasn't acknowledged this bark at all. I think the bark has killed like 4 fishing ships or something.
Yeah.
Nice work there.
Yeah, and if you look at Blove's score, he's not even at 1,000. He's at 800.
The score is way low. We do see Republic from Kokodo, and if they can get out a siege factory and start attacking, that'd be great. I will say, I think Kokodo's wealth income is quite low for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just because he's not using enough fishing ships. You have a bunch of wood. You gotta spend it.
It looks like V with the Chinese power did go Science 3 after all. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a good choice. You just want to ultra boom against. You want to be able to outboom the Hanging Gardens player.
Yeah.
You know, going as the Chinese going. If you go Com 2 Despot, like it's like not that great. You just don't have the nation power to really sell you there or the units or whatever. So.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like AL's pretty much in control of this game. Blove's really going to have to start catching up here. He's way far behind.
Yeah.
And that's just going to hurt as he start getting... I mean, look at his library. It's just...
barren.
Look at his library compared to, say, V's library. I mean, it's just... it's not even close.
Yeah. V has 4 techs over Blove.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, they're on the same team. But, I mean, you can see AL... Here comes the Civ 2 from Aztecs. Germans already have Mil 2 Civ 2 up top.
Yeah, there's a siege factory coming from Lockheed. I think the siege factory actually could have been a little bit faster, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Blove's so slow right now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Lankesh does not have Mill yet, but went for a Civ 2, getting that economy up higher. Getting a smelter, nice work. And on this side, let's see, is there a smelter here? There's not a smelter from Kokodo. Please get a smelter.
Yep. Germans get that ability.
And let's take a look. I think AL haven't. Yeah, it looks like AL just haven't scouted many of their good rares. They haven't scouted gems or salt. It looks like. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, they just kind of stopped scouting and they're just
yeah.
focusing on the attack now. But this is a nice attack here from Locky. Munich does have a tower up now. And they're wisely building with some space behind Munich. Like I said, they're not putting the buildings too close, so there's some space there to defend.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty good defensible city now.
Yep.
And you
There's
can
a
see
single.
Kokoro bringing a siege now too. He's going to start working on his barracks.
Yeah, I'm at 15-15 right now. But yeah, I do see the
Okay.
catapult. Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're kind of there because I think I paused for a little bit and I forgot to tell you. Whoops.
Oh, that's fine.
So we'll see if Strat can hold off this this aggressive push. Maybe they have a good chance because they do have the better long-term rares, but AL just have the momentum right now because Blov's just way too far behind.
Blov's way too far behind. Just look at his score.
What?
And
He's going for Despot? What?
well, it's your French despot.
I guess so.
You got
I
Yeah, you got
part of me is happy because I got to see my French despot, but on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know, Blov.
Typically, you like it with Com 2, I know, but he's going Mill 2 at least.
Yeah.
So he's gonna try and I guess the idea is here is hold, kill as much of the army as you can, and then immediately counterattack. The German capital's right in front, so that could be the play. But you have to hold here, and you have to kill a good chunk of their army. You have to get them to commit, come in, and kill that army. Otherwise, the counter's not going to work. They're just going to be able to fall back and defend.
Yeah, and I think the economy is just a little low for Blov, even with Despot. Unfortunately, I mean French Despot is good, but Blov just doesn't have the production right now. These production buildings aren't pumping up.
All these heavies coming in from Locky. He's going to start cleaning up here.
Yeah, heavy cavalry, 7 heavy cavalry. This is a ton of plunder.
They're going to take Munich pretty easily.
Yeah. And this looks like an utter disaster for Strat here.
Yeah, and like I said, the city, if not defended properly, is going to be vulnerable, and you see it now just going down pretty easily.
Yeah, they needed
all
more
unupgraded archers got slaughtered. I mean, just not a good defense here.
Yeah, Blov just unfortunately just way too far behind to do much of anything.
Yeah.
And still not producing enough units from the production buildings.
Well, Blov has no army at all, so he has an injured despot that's in Orleans.
Yeah, but I mean, you have resources. Like, you're queuing up all these resources in one barracks, but the other one's not producing at all. Your stable's also not producing. And then now you're throwing away units for no reason to the Aztec player who is probably sitting on riches. Let's take a look at the moment. Yeah, the Aztec player has a lot of resources.
Yeah. Yeah, he's feasting. He's gonna be able to age soon.
Yep.
He's about another 100 knowledge, which we'll get here in the next minute or so. And yeah, this is gonna be a bad situation.
Yeah,
at
least Linkish ages, and V's also going for age. Kike is also
but
aging.
V's out of the equation. He's at the top with Kike. They're going to be canceling each other out. This is a 2-2 at the bottom right now.
Yeah, I mean, if V can make something happen, right? He does have more knowledge actually than the Hanging Gardens player. 18 scholars compared to only 7 for Kike. And he does have the better economy. So maybe if V can make something happen on that side, and even if Blov dies, then I think they're still like not terribly far behind, especially with Linkish having that Colossus.
Yeah, I would just like to see Locky and Kokoro just go in right now for the kill. Look at their armies in comparison to Blov and Lankesh. Even though Lankesh is upgraded, they could still go in with these two large armies and just...
Yeah, I mean, I think they're waiting for the age, but I would like to... I agree, and I also would like to see some more sieges from both players.
Yeah.
I think I would like to see one more siege from both players, because they have the resources, and it would make their siege much faster.
Yep.
You see here, Lankesh has a decent army.
Yeah, it's nice to take out these production buildings, but it's slowing you down at the same time. But yeah.
What you actually want to do in this sort of situation is you want to park your units like right next to the production buildings, so their opponents can't produce out of them. Because then if they send any unit out, then you just kill them. Blov's gonna go for Science 1 finally. Bit on the late side, Blov, unfortunately. Just really needs to make units, and I think this +5 mountain is hurting Blov. Blov doesn't have another mine to use right now.
Yeah, it's a bad spot to be in. And he's caught up his library though, at least, so that's good. He'll be able to age somewhat soon.
That's true. We do see they're going to fight over the water here a little bit. V and Kike.
Yeah.
Trireme on trireme action.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. Kokoro and Lucky just going a little slow here. Now you see Lancaster's putting together a nice army here for defense. Blov's actually got a decent little army coming together. And Blov's going to be able to age at some point here. He just needs food.
Yeah, I think I would like to see Blov go Calm 2 now because you just need that economy to, like, sure, you could ask for support from Lankesh, but you don't really want to be, you want to be the one who's taking a lot of, you want to be producing armies so Lankesh doesn't have to lose units. And this is something that I've talked about with actually Spy a little bit separately. So Rise of Nations has ramping costs. So how that works is the less units you have, the more, like, especially military units, the less they cost. The less producing new units cost. So, like, you'll notice if you have a large Colossus army, every, like, arquebusier or heavy infantry costs, like, hundreds of resources. But if you don't have any of those, they cost, like, 70, right?
Yeah.
And so, what you can do is, if you have... It's all about, like, which player takes the losses in a fight. So if you have, for example, if you have Blov's army in the front, and they're taking the losses, all of Blov's new units will be really, really cheap, right? Whereas Lankesh, right? Lankesh is the Colossus player, and all the units will be really expensive. And you want to keep a large Colossus army together. That's part of the power of Colossus. So if I would like to see that if Blov just parks the units in front and then Lankesh is behind. So Blov will take most of the losses, but he can replenish those because all his units are so cheap. And then, Lankesh can just continue adding to this army on this side here.
Yeah, that would be an excellent strategy because Lankesh is really putting together a nice little army here. I'd like to see some more horses, but they're in defense mode.
Yep. And I'm actually not super impressed with this German economy from Kokoro. Just kind of lackluster, honestly. The wealth income's not super there. The knowledge income's not super there. If you compare the knowledge incomes, there's 11 scholars for the German player compared to 17 for the Aztec player.
Yeah, now Blov's clicked up, so this one is going to get big. They're going to be able to defend this here. And so good job from Blov for recovering. He was in big trouble there.
Yeah, I guess so,
and it's giving V a chance here. V's going to go gunpowder here very soon.
Yeah.
And,
how's Kike doing? Kike, I don't think Kike's realized that he's behind in the knowledge race.
He's way behind.
Yeah, and that I don't think there's much excuse for that. Where is your population?
Yeah, he's not going to have a chance against the gunpowder army up here. There's no way. And V's got control of this lake now, so he'll be able to put out some bombard ships.
So I think on the bottom side here, Kokoro and Loki are on a timer. They have to kill Blov and also deal some serious army damage to Lankesh soon, because otherwise V's just gonna snowball on that side, on the top side.
It just might be a little too late, though, unfortunately. When you have an early advantage like that, and we've seen this so many times again in these games in the tournament, you just got to go in. I mean, there was a point where Blov his score was like in the low 1000s. He had like 3 units. Just go in and try and clean that up. But instead, they went for the age. Now you got to deal with. They
took their time.
Yeah, way too much time. And V's gonna kill up top. V's gonna win the top for sure.
Yeah, we do see here Kike's raiding, but these are not really great raiding units. You don't really want to raid with like cavalry. You raid with heavy cavalry or horse archers.
Yeah, archers. Yep.
Or even pikemen, honestly.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Chinese players almost ready to age, can click up momentarily. And that's going to be really, really, really bad for Kike here, doesn't even have science 3.
Yeah, that'll be GG up top.
Yep.
So it's going to be up to Locky and Kokoro to win this game, but they're just way too passive right now.
Yeah, honestly, like, they have larger armies. They could just walk in and win the fight. Like,
I mean, they could have done it in the past probably 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing, and they're kind of like, they're giving a chance to their opponents, whereas their opponents didn't really have much chance. We do see Kokoto rotating, I don't really know what he's doing with this rotation. I feel like there's really no need.
Yeah, it's really unnecessary. There's nothing they're going to be able to do against V. I guess he's going to try and come sneak on Berlin, but Berlin's getting fortified. So,
yeah, the raids are doing decent work, but not really the right units. If these were 3 horse archers, they would be really dealing. There would be a lot. It would be very catastrophic.
Oh yeah. And you can see the libraries. You look at Kokoro's library, just way behind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
it's just not. You're just not managing your resources well.
Yeah, I mean, he's only one research ahead of Blove, and Blove was so far behind. So that's
Yeah.
a bad spot to be in.
Definitely.
You're just letting your opponents just boom and boom and boom. You see Lankesh up top. He's got the Science 3 now.
And in fact,
I think
if you
Strat's going to be in full control here.
yeah, and in fact, if you look at Lankesh's army, I think Lankesh has realized that Ael's just kind of sitting there and doing nothing. So Lankesh would have a lot more units normally, but has chosen to stop producing units, which I think is a good choice because Ael's just letting them just sitting there and letting them continue holding Orleans. You know, they're just not. You know, not taking advantage of their advantage. They're not taking advantage of their advantage, which kind of sounds stupid. I realize now. But anyways, I wonder where Kokoto's going. Where is he going? His army's really slow, just slowly walking. Really needs to fill out these universities. I don't know what he's doing. On this side, V has finally aged, gonna upgrade. This is a pretty scary gunpowder army, despite it not being that large so far.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be fine. His economy is great. All these units are going to upgrade. I'd like to see some more fire lances. I'm sure they'll be there. Paris is not very well protected. You have a tower, a lookout, and a temple. But
Senate is only now getting raised.
Yeah.
There's not many units here from Kike. Kike actually has a lot of cavalry,
four
but
bombards coming in. That's going to melt Paris.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Yeah.
Kokoto's actually going top. I mean, it's acceptable, I think, but really, you should have been taking the bottom side there.
Yeah, it's not acceptable. It's a bad move. Big blunder. He's going to run into this fort. It's going to pick off a bunch of his units.
Kokoto's on Kike's team, but anyways.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Oh, I see he's going up to help.
Yeah.
Paris.
I mean, I guess,
yeah.
There's not going to be there's not enough units from V here. I actually would have liked to see V sit back a little bit longer, just siege and trade off against these units. There's no need to. I don't think there's any need to like rush in necessarily.
No, because they're holding just fine at the bottom.
Yeah, and they saw that Kokoto had rotated already, so.
Yeah.
And V is going to back off, loses a bunch of units, going to lose some of the sieges.
But he did force the portal to rotate, so...
Yeah, I mean, I still think overall, it was a net positive for Ael, I think.
And now here comes the Lankesh charging in. Looks like he's going to start cleaning up Lockie's, or try to clean up Lockie's army.
Yeah, I think actually, Lockie, let's see, Lankesh doesn't have armor. Lankesh does not have armor, so there are a lot more units for Bluff's side, but there's a fort in the back, so and also they're fighting on Lockie's territory, so Lockie could probably hold for a little bit. They need to make this city of Munich large. Probably just a lookout would be good enough. But honestly, I think Lockie wouldn't be too upset just trading out against his opponents. There's actually no siege here from either player. Now we see Bluff getting siege up, and Lankesh as well. This is a bit of a mistake. When you're defending like this, you need sieges, and the reason for that is you got to make sure your opponent can't rotate. Right? We saw Kokoto rotate, and they have no way to punish. Right? Lockie can just sit back and sit with the fort and the city. There's no way they can go on the offensive without sieges, and that's why when you defend, sieges are really, really important because you can't have your opponent rotating. Kike's gonna age now.
Yep, and that's going to help him slow the advance of V, but Lankesh is aging, so that's going to be big trouble at the bottom.
Yeah, let's see how close. Locky is kind of close, and German's player is just not. This is Kokodo's not close, and it's really unacceptable to not be at this point.
Yeah, and Blove's did a great job recovering. A lot of credit to him for bouncing back. I thought he was really out of this game, and now he's helping Siege. He's got a nice sized army. He's got Mill 3, so he's gonna get armor. He hasn't clicked on it yet, but he'll get it soon.
Still doesn't have any caravans, surprisingly. But I think I think going Senator would have like they would have definitely won this side. Love would be a little bit more ahead than he is now. You know, that early despot definitely hurts, but.
And now we're seeing the bomb ship come out from V, so that's nice.
Nice work going to target the anchorage.
Yeah.
I think actually Kike actually has enough light ships to take care of this bomb ship, but they're currently just sitting there. So Kokodo gonna get these sieges sniped for no reason. Now we see Kike fighting over the water here. There's Monarchy out for the French player on the top. This is a pretty sizable army. There's a lot of pikemen, which I think is a good choice. I think he's recognized that V has a lot of heavy cavalry. So you know maybe he can make it work. V has gone Science 4, which is bad for the French player on the top here. But they're fighting over water, and looks like Kike is winning.
Yep. And I'm surprised you're not more excited about the French Monarch. You're finally going to see some action there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think he's behind. And actually, Kokodo is still here. On the bottom side, there's a big fight happening here. Locky's trying to trade out. I think, you know, Locky needs to be trading against his opponents. Locky has tons and tons of resources floating. Needs to get the production up, and also is pop capped. So, you know, is upgrading all the units now. And we do see Forbidden City Wonder Race between Love and Locky.
And it looks like V got that porcelain tower up. That's a beautiful wonder to have for him. Some pressure on Taiwan.
Yeah, there's two armies here. I don't know how useful Kokodo's army will be. It's a little small. It's unupgraded. Doesn't, you know, he's still far away from aging.
Yeah, this French Monarch is very powerful. He needs to get in a better position to keep healing all these troops.
Yeah, and it looks like Locky's gonna take some big losses on this side.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have upgraded units. The city of Munich is gonna go down, and that means 7 scholars down the drain. That's gonna hurt.
And you can see Blove's fully recovered now. He's gonna age here probably in the next couple minutes, and that's gonna be big trouble at the bottom. Although Kokoro's not too far away from aging either, so.
Yeah, but Kokoro's age is way late. There's really no, like, I don't really understand. There's really no excuse here. And we see the power of the French monarch coming in here.
Yeah.
V,
just cutting through.
Yeah, I mean V has the advantage. Has science over Kike, but you know that's the disadvantage of going science early. If you lose, you're on the same battlefield as your opponent now, who's a little bit behind in tech. And the city of Taiwan is taken, and now you've lost most of your army. And V is in trouble
French
now.
Monarch, whereas opposed to Chinese Monarch, French Monarch gets that extra healing. So. Yeah,
definitely. That's a big buff. On this side, Munich is taken back for the German player. And it looks like Locky's trying to put together a defense. Locky also goes to the school of never build a smelter, unfortunately, and that's going to hurt him a lot.
Yeah, that's us. And you see Lancaster score now. He's starting to pull away.
Yeah, what is Lancaster up to? Lancaster's going for Science 4. I think that's not a good choice. I think you need to get a lot of army. This is a really low population for a Colossus player. I think you need a lot of army, and you need to help out V on the top side, because V has thrown away a really good advantage that he had.
And he looks like he's rotating up, but it's going to be maybe too little too late, because this Taiwan is getting completely raised out.
Yeah, and that's how I mentioned production buildings. That's going to be really annoying for V to take here.
And dealing with this French monarch is just very difficult. I mean,
Yeah, I will say the French monarch. There's not that much cavalry, and that's because Kike is pop capped.
yes, he needs to
Look at all
breathe.
these units queued up. Really needs third stable.
Yeah, that's true. He needs a third stable.
And it looks like they're just going to trade over control of Taiwan. Taiyuan, sorry, not Taiwan. And it looks like V's castle went down, so he won't be able to get 4th armor, and that's going to be a big deal. Now
because
Kike's getting
has it.
armor 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Kiki's gonna have 4 armor, and Beijing is gonna fall here.
Yeah, on this side we see Blov gonna start pressuring, and Lankish gonna rotate back because Lankish has realized, okay, shoot, my ally's screwed. Doesn't have armor, is a little bit behind. Threw away a really good advantage that he had, and is now running away.
Lockie won the Wonder Race, so he took Forbidden, and Kokoro is gonna age before Blov. So it looks like the momentum has shifted back.
Yeah.
To
what an exciting game.
Very exciting. We've seen a lot of exciting games on Lakes here.
Yeah.
The last couple days, yesterday, of course, was probably the epic, that Quetzal Corey game.
Yeah. All you haters of Lakes out there.
Which I am a hater of Lakes, but if good games, I'll call them. When I see good ones, these have become some good ones.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. And this French army is getting a little out of control. 116 population. Let's take a look at V's population, 104. The army is just a little small. If both players keep producing at this rate, Kike is going to have just a larger army that has better armor, and is going to easily be able to snowball the win from here. We see Kokoto floating thousands of resources.
Yeah, that's a big mistake here. He needs to use those.
And Lockie slaughters Blov's army with the gunpowder army.
Yeah. Yeah, Blov's not going to be able to compete until he can upgrade, even with the French despot.
Yeah, and now we see the scores are incredibly close, only like 10 or 15 off.
Yep.
Lankish is rotating, but a lot of these units are crossbows. This is not really a great army, to be honest. And there's not actually that much. Only 112 population compared to the 124 of the French monarch player. This is what I like to see. Nice French army. Actually, not that many arquebusiers, but really nice French army.
Cavalry just chopping through those all those gunpowder units.
Yeah, it's so many horses.
Yeah.
And they're sieging down Porcelain Tower now. V has a fort now and is getting armor, which I think good choice. Nice of him to get that nice and quick. But V's food income is actually kind of suffering. And it looks like they're going to go for a charge. I don't know if this fight's going to go that great. V doesn't have armor quite yet, and the armies are a bit small. And in fact, Lankish doesn't have a general here. The army's still not quite fully arrived, and I think that means Kike is going to win this fight handily. Look at this army. It's barely taken any losses, still at 125 population. Whereas V's front line of heavy fire lances, these 16 fire lances, are going to get massacred by all these horses. These horse grenadiers from the French player. What a beating.
Yeah, bad beating.
Hey Jatin, how's it going? I see you in the chat. This looks like it's going to be GG. Kike just single-handedly won the game, and I think V really threw away a great opportunity. V was ahead in tech, but chose to go for Science 4 instead of Mill 4, and then took a bad fight against a French Monarch player who went for Mill 4.
Yeah, now he's got 24 cavalry, a mix of light and heavy.
14 horse grenadiers. Yeah,
how you gonna deal with that?
V is at 87 population. The economy is starting to go down. Porcelain Tower is taken down. We finally see a general from Lankish, but this is really late. Lankish only has 96 population, not ideal for a Colossus player. On the bottom side, the Aztec player is beginning to crush the Despot French player. So much plunder. Yeah. And there's also a small army here from Kokoto to help out. This game looks over.
Aztec's gone Monarch as well, so that's going to be big trouble for Blow up here.
Yeah. And it
It
feels
looks
like
like
that
Beijing's-
Despot is really hurting Blove in the long term.
Yeah.
He just didn't
Well,
do much with it.
yeah, well, he just couldn't. I mean, he was in a bad space. He was playing from behind
Yeah.
too early.
Blove says
So
two
there's no
here.
good
I mean, I agree, but I think Lankesh and V together can't beat Kike at this point, who's
Yeah.
really far ahead. This is a massive French army getting this herbalism, I think, or what is this called? Medicine upgrade, which is awesome for French.
Yep.
You know, the healing is faster, which is a big army buff. Also, you produce units faster.
And you get increased line of sight also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he's
like
going in for
Beijing's
the charge,
fall.
going to try to take Beijing. This is a
Yeah.
massive army. So many. This is the power of French here, or at least one of the many great powers of French.
What a crazy game here.
Yeah. I really thought AL blew their chances, but it looks like Kike was the savior and V gave away the top there.
Yeah, I'm shocked that V was unable to secure that at the top. I guess that rotation from Kokoro did end up helping. It was just enough to help Kike survive and get that French Monarch out. Because one-on-one, I think V ends up winning that easily at the top.
Yeah.
So, credit to Kokoro for rotating up, even with an H3 army, just to help, just
Broad
buy enough
numbers
time for
wise,
people yeah, just buy him time to age up, to get that Monarch out, and you can just see the power of the French Monarch is just so strong.
Yeah, and now this looks like it is going to be GG. On the bottom side, we see here there's two armies from Lucky and Kokoto. Blove has aged, credit to him, with a Despot economy, but this looks like an utter disaster.
Yeah, and we're going to see all this Aztec plunder come. This is just, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
But man, what a game.
Yeah, what a game. Well played from both sides. I think we saw some solid play. We saw some minor blunders and some major blunders definitely from I think all the players at some point. But really glad we got to see a 3v3 game and it ended up being so exciting.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And the Chinese, or the Lankesh is still doing decently, but that population has a lot of production, but I mean, Lankesh can't put out two fires at once, and Kike is way ahead in score.
Yeah, this is over.
Yeah.
Looks like V will be able to age though, eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of close. Lankesh says it's
not
GG to the allies. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
V
of course.
says yeah. Well played. So this victory, V calls GG. This victory looks like it's going to allow AL to get into top 8.
Right. Congrats, AL.
Congrats. They're going to be 3-0. Strat are still not out of it. Their record is now 2-1. So if they win their next game, they can still make it in to the top 8. But anyways, congrats to AL. They ultimately just played better than their opponents and were able to get the win.
Yeah, they showed how to deal with adversity early on. I really thought Kike was going to be in big trouble at the top there. And he had such a good boom, had a nice big army. But like I said, I think the turning point was Kokoro just rotating up, which we both criticized that move, but it turned out to be the right move.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
time.
I think given that Kokoto rotated, he should have gone to the top. I agree, but I think he shouldn't have rotated in the first place. He should have just stayed at the bottom and killed. Like they were way ahead on the bottom. They could have just walked in easily, and they didn't do that, which kind of I thought they were throwing away the game, but ultimately ended up working out.
Yeah, it worked out, and we would have just had a different result where Kike would have had to probably died, unfortunately, and they would have just won the bottom.
Yeah,
like
and they would have gotten to Lankesh's territory first, which was a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, GG.
Right.
Well played.
GG.
Very nice play on Kike's part. Managing to string together a victory despite being pretty far behind in tech from V, like a whole 600, 700 knowledge behind or something like that. Nice work.
Yeah, excellent work, AL. Good comeback, guys, and congrats on making it to the next round.
Yeah. All right, it looks like they're just dragging it out, so I'm gonna fast forward.
Yeah, this is over.
Yeah.
Clearly over.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like he will get H5, or almost.
Yeah.
He's trying to get it, but he might die before it happens.
Yep. Just died. On this side, Blood resigns, and it is game over. Let's take a look at the score. So we have Kike, definitely top score, and also with the most kills, V with the most losses. And ultimately, Kike was able to get more knowledge at the end because just took so many cities from V. But GG, well played. That is going to be a 2-1 victory for AL, and that means they qualify for top 8.
That's right. Congrats, AL.
Congrats, AL. All right. Yeah, that pretty much does it for today's stream. Yeah. Hope everybody who's watched the streams today has enjoyed. We will be back tomorrow at some point. I don't know what exact. I think we're casting AZ versus Lat tomorrow. That got pushed.
Yeah.
That was originally going to be today, but we changed it to tomorrow. So yeah.
AZ Lat tomorrow. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. This is AS Eat the Pair signing off. And as always, thank you, olddirtyh, for joining me.
Of course. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.